This chapter will acquaint you with
purchase orders in RAST Win, purchasing and receiving spare parts. Purchase orders in RAST include requisitions sent from a vessel to the Home Office for completion and transfer to the vendor,
processing direct order items and sending the purchase order to the vendor, purchase orders indicating landed goods to be repaired. Templates may be used for frequently ordered items. In RAST, the purchase orders installed on board a vessel and those in the Home Office are identical and have the same functionality and options. This system gives the vessels the same purchasing options for their own orders as the Home Office has. The system can be configured to allow the vessel to make direct orders or just requisitions. A new purchase order may be created while the list of purchase orders or a purchase order detail window is active.
Purchase order items may be collected from installed equipment, tab spare parts, work order, tab spare parts, material list, master catalogue.
Note: the technical account and equipment fields are automatically occupied when the line items are selected from a work order or installed equipment. Note: since many of the fields are filled out with default information when the items are dragged and dropped into the purchase order, these fields should be left empty until the items are inserted. Note: purchase orders may also be created based on free text items.
Save the purchase order header and RAST Win will insert the next free purchase order ID. To open the folder containing information about purchase order items, click on the Item tab. To open the folder containing information about goods delivery, click on the Delivery tab.
The vendor field will be filled out with the default vendor for the items when the items are dragged and dropped into the purchase order. If items with different default vendors are selected, the system will then give a soft warning and uses the first one as the vendor for the purchase order. The user must then remove those items that can't be ordered from that supplier.
When ordering for a work order, the delivery date is set to the same date as the planned due date for the work order.
When the status is set to received, partial or complete, the current date is set as the default for received date.
To open the folder containing detailed information about a purchase order, click on the Details tab.
The Finance Account field will have the default code filled out for the items when the items are dragged and dropped into the purchase order. If items with different default codes are selected, the system will then give a soft warning and uses the first one as Finance Account code for the purchase order.
When ordering for a work order, the delivery date is set to the same date as the planned due date for the work order. When the vendor is selected, the default currency is automatically selected. Click on the arrow to change into other currency codes if required. To open the folder containing information about consolidated consignments, click on the CC tab. Consolidated consignment means shipment number and might contain one or multiple purchase orders. Here you will find information about this shipment, such as airway bill, transportation, flight number, destination, etc. To open the folder for additional comments, click on the Comments tab. The free text field may be used for any comments related to this purchase order. The comments are for internal use only, since they are not included in the purchase order printout or data transferred to the vendor.
Here you will find information about this shipment, such as the airway bill, transportation, flight number, destination, etc. For groups of items that are frequently ordered, assigning them to a purchase order template and using the template when preparing the purchase order is advantageous. How to design and administrate the templates is described in Chapter 3. To use a purchase order template, select PO Templates from the Module Purchases menu. By default, the first template in the list is loaded as active. To select the preferred template, click on the down arrow and make a selection from the list.
Place the cursor in the quantity field of the items you wish to order. Enter the needed quantity. Repeat for all items you wish to order. To view only the selected items, click on the radio button for items to order. The system switches to the list-only items with quantities greater than 0. To create a purchase order, first select the vendor. Place the cursor in the address field. Press Shift plus F1 to open the list of valid vendors. The list of vendors has filter and search options to reduce the number of records displayed and make it easier to find the right purchase order. Click on the Query button to activate the filter. Place the cursor on the record describing the vendor. Click on the Select button. When the vendor is selected, click on the Create PO button. A confirmation box appears. Click on the Yes button to confirm the operation. The system confirms that the purchase order has been created and which PO number that has been assigned. Click on the OK button. The purchase order detail window is opened.
Recording the quantity received is done in the item folder of the purchase order.
The quantity recording field is opened when the status is set to ordered and remains open until the status is set to completed or cancelled and the purchase order is filed. Record the quantity received by placing the cursor in the quantity recording field and entering the correct figure. Set the status to completed if all items were received. Set the status to partial if some ordered items are not received and are expected to arrive later. Purchase orders with status completed or cancelled may be transferred into the file. The filing function can transfer single or multiple purchase orders to the file. Click on the OK button to confirm the filing operation.
RAST Win has a separate list for invoices. Invoices may be recorded as direct costs. Note that if spare part costs are reported as consumption costs, the same costs may also appear in the invoices. As consumption costs may be based on average stock cost, these may not be identical to the invoiced costs.
The display shows a list of registered invoices with invoice number, PO number, address of supplier, purchase description, invoice date, invoiced amount and currency, due date, approval date and initials, invoice type, vessel ID, technical account and finance account numbers.
The module has search selection facilities that are used by entering invoice number, PO number, address of supplier, purchase description, initials of purchaser, and/or invoice type. The list may also be sorted by selecting All, Overdue, or Approved from the Selection drop menu. We can use it by clicking on the desired sorting option and on the Ascending-Descending button.
Purchasing and receiving spare parts.
Spare parts may be ordered by creating a purchase order and using the material list.
Click on the New button in the toolbar. And click on the Save button.
After saving the PO header, click on the Item tab so that you can enter the order items and select the material list from the module menu. You can search using the binoculars icon for the required spare parts to link them to the purchase order. When the items to be ordered are selected, they can be dragged and dropped into the purchase order.
Click on Window in the main menu and select Tile Vertical in the Window submenu. The system will propose to order the difference between quantity on hand and max stock, but you are free to change the quantity in accordance with your actual need.
Now we need to enter more information into the relevant tabs, such as Financial Account in the Detail tab, Delivery Time into the Delivery tab, or any comments in the Comments tab. As previously mentioned, templates may be used for ordering parts and materials. Normally, this function is used for frequently ordered parts and materials, such as provisions, cleaning agents, and other consumables. To create a PO based on PO template, we select the address by using Shift plus F1. Select Address, SSS. The purchase order is now generated based upon the chosen criteria.
To follow up a purchase order, enter the list of active POs.
Double-click on the actual purchase order to view purchase order specifics and to change a purchase order's status. When the purchase order is given the status received, the stock is updated automatically with the number of items received. Adjust the quantity received if parts are missing. Check that all the incoming material has a store ID.
Now we set PO R990007 to received and then save it. All part on this PO is now received on board the vessel. It's possible at a later stage to alter the quantity received for the different items when the contents have been checked and found not matching the quantity ordered. The Home Office will in this case make a back order for the missing parts. To register invoices, open the Invoice Register. Click on the New button in the toolbar.
When entering the actual PO number, all relevant information may be retrieved from the PO and entered into the invoice registration form. Enter the invoice specification and click on the Save button in the toolbar.